Hello, everybody. I am Yolanda Marie. So, I really want to come to you guys and talk about this energy that we are moving through right now. This energy that is naturally adjusting us. You probably feel this on some level. You might be very, very conscious of this, or you might be wondering what the heck is going on with either your body, with your life circumstances, with your emotions. But let's get into this, okay? Basically, this feels like the longest transformation ever. When it really, and the Arcturians really want to remind us of this, and your higher selves really want to remind you of this. This is indeed really among the shortest seen in the history of evolution. What you are accomplishing is being done in such a short amount of time. It's monumental what is happening. So remember that. Remember this monumental feat that you have undertaken coming here as you're going through these changes. Remember that with the joy, with the highs, and remember that with what we perceive as lows, what feel like in our human, very, very low, very tumultuous, okay? This is what's going on. All right, so you might have been feeling enormous pressure physically in your bodies. Almost like something's trying to move through and out, like something's trying to escape from you, right? Or move through in terms of a shift. There's a shifting going on. And so again, you might be really conscious of which one that is. Check in with yourself and see what that might be. You might already know what in your life is shifting. For many of you, this will have to do with what you might think of as maybe a job, maybe your purpose, the way you bring in abundance. We're still in this transactional, and this is temporary, okay? And the more we think of this as temporary, the quicker this will change, by the way. All right, now that's our creator being engaging. So we're in this temporary circumstance, okay? Humans, of this transactional nature of being. So I have to give so much of this to receive so much of this, right? In terms of, like, say, currency, money, energies that don't even match, right? And so those things are still going on. That old paradigm stuff is still going on, rather than just being able to live and be as what you are, what you came here to be, and having that natural exchange, because there will be a natural exchange that does occur. Yes, exchange of energy in balance is natural to the state of any living thing, period. On any planetary sphere, in any level of existence, there is an exchange, right? But there's a natural behavior to this. There's a natural way that this occurs that maintains the balance of a civilization without needing to insert artificial means of having this occur. Artificial means which create a sense of control over other people. All right, that's where the fear comes in. All this other stuff comes in. I'm afraid I don't have enough because I don't have this artificial means of giving something to somebody to have something that I need to literally survive on the planet. That's artificial. That's a means of control. All right, so that wanted to come through, okay? To just remind us that that's a temporary circumstance that is leaving, as long as we allow it to leave, allow that shift to occur. So you may be tuned in a little bit to how that might be shifting, how you're viewing this sort of transactional nature of being, which we, again, are still to some degree needing to engage in, right? To eat, to, have clean water, food, a roof over our heads, all of that, okay? So we might be tuning into refocusing how we view that through our hearts. Now, that's a big collective thing that's happening. That's a major shift that's occurring. Now, there are some previous energetic spikes that have occurred and have maneuvered us in many ways. Now, some of you are going to know a lot more about this, so please comment down below. But I believe the largest solar flare since maybe 2017, I believe, has occurred within the last few days, maybe. And there have been subsequent solar flares occurring. So this is major. These are major. This solar energy, these solar bursts, these are not like random things happening, okay? This is all a part of how we're being maneuvered with these energetic spikes. Also, Saturn, Uranus, and Mars have created this tension, right? So go to your favorite astrologer that you really trust and maybe see how these planetary alignments have also fit as pieces of the puzzle into this array of circumstances that are acting like a catapult, really, catapulting us forward here. So you've got Saturn, Uranus, and Mars creating this tension, which really reached this peak around, I believe, around the 4th of July, okay? But look into that. Look into the specifics. But either way, we're still in this energy. It did reach the peak around the 4th, and you may have definitely been feeling that, maybe even days before the 4th. Now, this collective energetic incitement, that's how they put it, okay, guys? I'm reading from my notes here. So, yeah, this collective energetic incitement also played and is still playing a major role in squeezing the life out of what you no longer wish to include in your energetic parameters. Now, by that, when they say your energetic parameters, they're talking about your frequency makeup. What are those frequencies that you feel are elevating you, expanding you, and bringing toward you what you prefer to see in your life? All right, we're in a constant, at this point, constant level up of this. Even when you feel like you've come down a little bit and, rocked back and forth, you're constantly leveling up in this, okay, consistently. And so one way to check on that, and you don't need to necessarily do this, but even if you just happen to observe people around you, let's say a couple of neighbors or people that you see at the farmer's market that, aren't in your immediate circle all the time. But if you just really observe and feel into their frequencies versus where you are, many times that's going to be enough to remind you really how much you're constantly and consistently expanding. It's much more than you realize. Okay, so keep going. Have faith in yourselves regarding this. All right, this is a big deal, how much work that you're doing. It's a very, very big deal. And your soul family really wants you to know this. They want to remind you of this, not to stroke your ego. This is coming through now, not to necessarily inflate this from an egoic perspective, right? Which is part of the human. We realize we don't want to rail against the ego either. But this is not what this is for. This is to give you ammunition, if you will. This is coming through now, okay? This is giving you ammunition to keep steadily moving and have faith and energy to move forward, to provide further momentum. So they really want you to know this. All right, and so speaking of soul family, there are a lot of Galactic Soul family groups sending us, and they're calling it cooperative, expansive, high-frequency codes, which are directed at healing of heart and healing of body. Okay, so have faith in those parts of your physical body that you wish to see a forward progression in the healing, okay? And just feeling better, just overall wellness and healing. And so, yeah, they are directing these codes at the healing of heart and body, but also expansion of light body as well. So yes, your cells are still restructuring. Remember, this evolution is happening in a very short amount of time. That doesn't mean that it's going to come to its fruition at the end of your lifetime or my lifetime necessarily, but in terms of what other civilizations have done, in terms of their expansion, evolution, and yes, ascension, what we are doing here has been previously unseen, okay, the rate at which we are doing this. And so all of these things are happening behind the scenes. You might be tuning into it and being able to feel it, though. A lot of you, many of you. But it is largely happening behind the scenes in terms of on a planetary scale. And so this creates some really special circumstances for this previous new moon that just occurred on, I believe, the 9th. Okay, so Friday. Comment below if I'm off on my dates and correct me, okay? And so what they're saying is, and these are the Arcturians, okay? They're saying this stage has really been set here with these very special circumstances, okay? These energetic spikes and the soul family group sending this energy, right? All of this is like a catapult. And this has created very special circumstances for this particular new moon, in which the stage has been set for you to enter this whole new course without much effort. They're saying, and I'm quoting, with barely a shove, they're saying. Now, but they're saying the key here is going to be patience with yourself, belief, and higher wisdom. They want to make a point here to say things almost always appear to be insanity around you at these times, because what's happening is there's a natural counterbalancing occurring. There's a natural counterbalancing of the energetic poles. Now, this isn't something to be afraid of, but we're going to get into this just a little bit, okay? Basically, if you think of it like there's one side to your right, one side to your left, just to give you a visual, all right? And one side is reaching so far in a particular direction that the other opposite, we'll call it the opposite side, the opposite pole, naturally wants to reach in the other direction. And so that's what is happening. And it's always happening on micro levels. So like maybe within a family structure, within groups, you know, and also on a planetary level, you know, from the micro to the macro, of course. And so the tension, the amount of tension involved in this is going to involve the level of frequencies, like how high the frequency is, the state of affairs, so to speak. Let's look at it that way, okay? And so it may feel very tense right now, and especially tense if people are disconnected from their hearts and disconnected from the higher frequencies, okay, which are the heart frequencies, right? The heart resonance. But the Arcturians are saying the two worlds, what you're feeling now with this tension, especially if you are awake to all of this. Now, you may be tuning in this way. And so you're feeling that these two worlds are separating much more now. And so you are not imagining this. If you're tuning in and feeling this as you move about the world, your world, okay? You're not imagining this. They are saying the two worlds are separating more now, much more. It will be more obvious. And so they're saying it's up to your observation to allow the world that you do not prefer to slip away. Allow this to slip away. Shift your perspective and your observations. Okay, this is what they're saying. And those are the Arcturians, okay? Now, my guides had a few more notes about navigating this. They're saying once you set your intentions here, relax. Do not push through what may be unaligned or misaligned frequencies there. Because remember, the energy has acted like a catapult, really, okay? And so it's already shoved this energetic momentum forward, but this isn't necessarily action. We always think that it means physical action and we should be feeling this, you know, erratic need to do something. Well, that's more a lower dimensional perspective, okay? That's not right or wrong. Remember, this is not a right or wrong. This is where do you want to live? What frequency do you want to live in? And so this catapult is basically providing this momentum that is going to support your going inward, meditating, coming to 0 point, getting clarity, and allowing things to come to you, and then act when inspired, act when motivated, okay? And pay attention to your heart there. Let it begin at your heart with the heart resonance and see it through the heart resonance. That is going to provide the most clarity. So this is what the Arcturians and my guides are saying, you guys. I hope that this all makes sense. I love you so much, soul family. Talk to you soon. Namaste.